Let's face it, we all have scrap wood and pallet wood laying around in our shop, and we just have to find a use for it. I'm going to show you in this video on how I made this sign here using only the scrap wood and the pallet wood around my shop, as well as leftover stain and some paint, as well as I'm going to share with you where I got this stencil at the end of the video. Hope you enjoy. Here I'm using some 1.5 by 1.5 inch pine lumber that I had cut. This is from a 2x4, and I had cut it down, like I said, to a 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch. Now all my pieces here are 13 inches long, and I'm just roughing up and sanding the edges. Actually, I'm not roughing up. I'm taking all the rough edges off and sanding them down and just kind of doing it. Now here I'm just taking and getting a kind of general idea. Like I said, these are 13 inches by 13 inches, and so that's going to make it a little wider than the 13 inches, but that is going to make it like 16 inches by 13 inches if I did my math correctly. And I'm just using a band clamp that I had laying around and just lining everything up and making sure that it is all set and organized. And just going to go ahead and tap it in place and go through, making sure that everything is lined up square and even to the best of my ability. Again, this is just more or less to look rustic. And I'm a big fan of the Craig Jig pocket hole screws. I like using them, and because of the size of the lumber, the 1.5 inch, I'm using 2.5 inch pieces, or 2.5 inch screws actually, to go ahead and screw those in. Here I'm just doing all four corners. Like I said, these are pocket holes, and I'm using pocket hole screws from Craig Jig. And I believe these are a coarse screw, and that seems to be the ones that I favor the most. It's a little bit of a struggle, but you know, I'm just double checking here, making sure that the screws do not poke all the way through. And if everything is done correctly, I have been successful in making sure that that hasn't happened. I'm going to go ahead and unscrew the band clamp and look at the final finished frame. Again, like I said, this is 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch. Very sturdy. And you can see I did not use any glue, but that's okay. Now I have some extra boards that I had planed down. These are just regular planking boards from the pallets, and they've been planed. These here I am doing the gluing, and I'm going to go ahead and brad nail those up and make sure that those are all secure. I don't often use glue in my projects, and I really would like to get back to doing that. It's a little bit more sturdy, so that's one of my downfalls. Here I'm going to go ahead and cut the edge off that is overhanging. It just makes it much more easier than trying to line everything up and so forth. And then all the edge that is still sticking out, I'm just going ahead and use my joiner planer to edge this off and make it flush. With a couple passes, and you can see it is done. Now I have some stain left over. This isn't any special stain. It was just like a dark walnut or dark cherry or something or other. I liked it, and I said, you know what? I think that this would make great use if I put this on a sign. And so this is what I am doing, is just brushing that on. Make sure I get all the edges. Again, I didn't pay too close attention. This is more like a rustic feel, rustic, decor type, and just making sure that's all good. Now here I'm using my Silhouette cutter. This is a personal die cutting machine by Silhouette. This is my Cameo 3, and I'm just cutting some scrap vinyl. And you can see that I have attached the vinyl to the sign and making sure that I get all the air bubbles down and out, so that way it is secure and I don't have to worry so much about bleed through or anything of that sort. Now with that said, I went ahead and used some leftover white paint from, I forget what project I used this for, but it worked out really well, and I'm just painting over top of my stencil that I cut in the vinyl using the personal die cutting machine. And there you have it. It's finished and done. And I will go ahead and leave a link to the place where I got this stencil. Actually, it's the file that you can go ahead and purchase. This was only $3, and I purchased it, and it worked out great, and I was really happy to be able to use it and do it. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did in creating this simple project with just scraps and other stuff laying around the shop. It was very simple, very easy, and if you like these type of videos, if I can invite you to hit that subscribe button as well as that bell notification down in the corner somewhere around here. And yeah, I'd like to have you along. As well as if you have any other questions, suggestions, or comments, please leave them down below. And as always, in the description, I leave all the information available that has been used in this video in the description below. So I greatly appreciate it. Again, my name is Nick, and welcome to my channel. I hope you have a great day, and I will catch you in the next one.